The attacker films herself before carrying out her bloody act.
My goal is at least 20 people with an AR-15 and a couple tracer rounds. I think I could get done. Location is Stone Douglas in Parkland, Florida.
Holy
Oh my God!
On February 14, 2018, a tragedy.
Florida. Valentine's Day. The sun was shining, kids were exchanging cards and chocolates, and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, a beautiful campus in a safe, affluent suburb, buzzed with the usual end-of-day energy. Classes were wrapping up around 2:20 p.m. No one imagined that in the next few minutes, their world would explode into one of the deadliest school shootings in American history. At 2:19 p.m., 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz stepped out of an Uber ride right in front of the school. He wore a maroon polo shirt, the same one from his days in the school's JROTC program, and carried a black rifle bag and backpack. Inside, an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle, multiple high-capacity magazines loaded with bullets and extra ammunition. Cruz had been expelled from Douglas the year before for disciplinary issues, threats, and disturbing behavior. He had posted online about wanting to be a professional school shooter. Authorities had received tips about him, including one to the FBI warning he was collecting guns and knives, but those warnings were never properly followed up. At 2:21 p.m., Cruz entered the unlocked east doors of Building 12, the three-story freshman building with about 900 students inside. He walked to a stairwell, pulled out the rifle, and started firing. The first shots rang out in the first-floor hallway. In under 2 minutes, he killed 11 people and wounded 13 more, shooting through classroom doors and windows, hitting kids hiding under desks or trying to run. Bullet holes riddled walls, glass shattered everywhere, and screams filled the air. He moved methodically. On the first floor, he fired into rooms 1214, 1215, and 1216. Victims included freshmen like Alyssa Al-Hadef, 14, soccer captain and gifted writer, Luke Hoyer, 15, Gina Montalto, 14, and Martin Duque, 14. He kept going. Geography teacher Scott Beigel, 35, unlocked his classroom door to let students in. He was shot and killed as he tried to close it behind the last kid. Assistant football coach Aaron Faze, 37, threw himself in front of students to shield them. He died protecting them. Athletic director Chris Hickson, 49, rushed toward the danger and was fatally shot. These adults gave their lives so others could live. Cruz went up to the second floor, no hits there, then to the third, where he killed 6 more and wounded 4 in just under a minute. In the third-floor hallway, he shot Carmen Skentrup, 16, a brilliant student headed to college. The entire rampage inside the building lasted only about 5 to 6 minutes, from 2:21 to around 2:27 p.m., but it felt like forever to those inside. At 2:28 p.m., Cruz dropped his rifle in a stairwell, blended into the crowd of fleeing students wearing his school colors, and simply walked off campus. He wasn't stopped by the armed school resource officer, who stayed outside the building instead of going in. Cruz wandered to nearby stores, even buying a drink at Subway and McDonald's, before a bystander recognized him from news alerts and called police. The arrest took place approximately 1 hour after the incident and 3 kilometers from the school. After being caught, he tried to act like a psychologically unstable person by giving inconsistent statements that implied her mental state had deteriorated.
What's going on? What's going on today, bro?
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What happened?
Shut up. Just be quiet, man.
He was arrested at 3:41 p.m. about a mile away, after lying down on the ground when confronted. 17 people dead, 14 students and 3 staff. 17 more wounded, some critically. The victims were full of promise: athletes, artists, future leaders like Meadow Pollock, 18, Joaquin Oliver, 17, Elena Petty, 14, a young JROTC member, and Peter Wong, 15, who died while helping others escape. Their names are etched forever. Alyssa, Jamie Gutenberg, Cara Loughran, Nicholas Dworak, Helena Ramsey, Alex Schachter, and more. The school became a crime scene. Parents waited in agony outside. Survivors hid in closets, under desks, texting loved ones goodbye. But something powerful emerged from the horror. Students like David Hogg, Emma Gonzalez, Cameron Kasky, and others refused to stay silent. They started #NeverAgainMSD. They organized the massive March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C. Hundreds of thousands marched nationwide demanding gun reform. They pushed Florida to pass the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, raising the gun-buying age to 21, adding school safety measures, and more. Their voices turned grief into activism that inspired a generation. Cruz pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life without parole after a long trial. But the scars remain. Survivors still deal with trauma, PTSD, survivor's guilt. The building where it happened was later demolished. Yet the names, the stories, the fight for change, they live on. Valentine's Day 2018 wasn't about love for those families. It was the day innocence died again in an American school. And the survivors said, enough. Never again.